Hello, flute students. This is rehearsal for our upcoming recital. This is for Marianne. And so you will need your instrument and a pencil and of course your music. So if you don't have those things, go ahead and push the pause button. We'll wait for you and come back. All right, welcome back. So take your pencil. First thing I want you to do, if you have not already, at the top of this first page, I want you to write May 16. May 16th is your recital date. And then directly under that, I want you to write rain date May 23. So we will do what we can to make the 16th work. But if there's weather that we just cannot work around, like we can't just delay the recital 15 or 20 minutes and then it's fine. If it's something we can't work around, then the 23rd is going to be our recital date. But May 16th is coming really quick, so let's get started here. We're going to look at the first measure, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so that you can see, but you have this in front of you, hopefully, as well. Okay, if we look at this first measure, we all have eighth notes together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then notice we all land on beat 1 of the second measure. We're going to try that a couple times just to make sure we all land at the same time because this first measure, if it's not together, tends to kind of like disturb the rest of them, like several measures later. It takes a few measures for us to get back on. So here we are at the very beginning, playing just that first measure plus one note. All right, I go 1, 2, and 1, 2, ready? All right, good. Let's go ahead and try it again. Just make sure we all land on that first note together, or on that first beat of the second measure together. And 1, 2, 1, 2, ready? All right, good. From here, we have this accompaniment rhythm, 1, 2, and, 2, and. All right, that is in the second and third flutes. First, you will get to play it starting in measure 14. So if you, first flute, want to look right now at measure 14, then you can do this with us, okay? But those four measures, 1, 2, and, 2, and. Let's have everybody start in seconds and thirds. You're going to start in measure 6. First, you're going to look at measure 14. All right, so seconds and thirds, we're looking at measure 6. First, you're going to look at measure 14. And let's try it together. Here we go, measure 6 or measure 14. 1, 2, ready, go, 1. Good. All right, and so that's how that will lay out. Now, let's go back to measure 6, and this is where we'll actually get to bring in audio and you'll get to hear what's actually going on when we put it all together. First, be really careful that your half notes are long, that you are playing them all the way through 2 beats before you go on because we have that accompaniment rhythm underneath that we have to fit in, okay? So this is, let's start at the beginning. Let's go ahead and start at the beginning and you'll get to hear, like I said, what this sounds like in context. All right, so here we are at the very beginning and I'll help keep track of where we are. 1, 2, 2, and 1, 2, beginning, go. 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and. Here's first. 2 and. Good. All right, and that brings us to measure 14, where now instead of the first having the melody seconds, you get it and first take over that accompaniment line that the seconds were playing. All right, so seconds, just like I was telling the first, be careful that your half notes in particular are all the way through 2 beats. Don't shorten them and then go on, because you had that accompaniment rhythm just a second ago that they had to fit in, and now everybody else has it and you have the melody. All right, so count very carefully. The whole piece for all 3 of the parts, the big thing is going to be counting and keeping track. Where is 1 and where are all of your rhythms within that measure? Let's start, please, at measure 14. I'm going to back it up a little bit just so that we get a running start at it. We don't have to jump right away. Here's measure 14. And 1, 2, 14, go. 2 and. Good. All right, and so now this brings us to measure 21. Firsts and thirds. I love this little part here at 21. It's like this little moment. So play into that, bring that out just a little bit, and then settle back into that accompaniment part. Seconds, hopefully you waited during those half notes and you also waited during your half rest. It's easy to just want to jump right in. But here we are starting in, we're going to pick up measure 21. All right, so looking at measure 21. And 1, 2, 21, now. And that is the last measure on the page. That is measure 25. Here in measure 25, firsts and thirds, we have the same 8th note figure that we had all the way up at the very top of that page. That same, it happens again to take us into the second page. All right, so now let's go ahead into that second page. We're looking at measure 26. Firsts and seconds, you have the accompaniment rhythm, while thirds get the melody this time. And again, everything is very steady. It's the same rhythms that we had on the first page. Just keep up with where are they in the measure, okay? Here is measure 26. Up at the top of the second page, everybody's playing. And 1, 2, ready, go. Yay! All right, and now this brings us to measure 34. Measure 34. Firsts and seconds, you have the melodic and then a harmonic line to go with it, but you have the melodic line basically. First, it's divided right now. You see an octave difference. Oh, it would be helpful if I actually showed you that. Here we go. Okay, so here in measure 34, we have that octave divisi, and I'm gonna leave that up to you. If you feel comfortable getting all the way up there to the G's and F's, then have at it. If you're like, I don't think I want to do that, then stay down on the lower octave, and that'll be okay too. All right, this is everybody looking at measure 34. I'm going to back us up just a little bit. Okay, so here's measure 34. Get ready to play. And 1, 2, ready, go. Everything's very long. And right back to 2 and. 2 and. Good. All right, so let's look at this last measure for just a moment. Everybody plays on 1. Do you see that everyone plays on 1? And then, oh, here, again, it would help if I scroll down to see. Everybody plays on 1, and then we have a rest on and, a rest on 2. We play and then everybody plays 3, 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but the rests are silent. 1 and 3, 4. All right, play just that last measure. And 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, one more time just to get it locked in. And 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so that is that last measure. And now, because we can, we're gonna back it up all the way to the beginning, because again, with this one, there's not lots of dynamics that we have to worry about. There's no change anywhere. The melodic line gets passed around when you perceive that you have the melody. Go ahead and play that out, and when you have that rest to and just relax a little bit. But other than that, there is no dynamic marking in here. We just have to worry about balance. And so really the name of the game is staying on time. That's going to be the biggest challenge in this one. So here we go from the beginning. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to speak. I'll use a couple of like visual cues to help you, but I want to give you a chance to hear what it all sounds like put together, and then you can go back and listen to it and play along with it as many times as you need to feel comfortable for your recital. All right, so here we go all the way back to the very beginning. Get ready to play, because here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Just like that. Yay! All right, so again, the nice thing about doing it this way is that you can go back and do that as many times as you need to. On that note, we also had the woodwind choir piece that you have the rehearsal link for already, and I will try to get a rehearsal put together for that, kind of like this, where we just walk through who's doing what. But you already have access to that recording that you can go play along with. So I would really strongly advise you do that. In the meantime, if you have questions, send me a message, send me an email, ask me in your next lesson, of course. I hope this was helpful for you, and I will see all of you in your next lessons. Okay, see you soon.